Hey there, Brian Hutchison again for episode 24. I'm here with the current president of NCDA right before the conference, Paul Timmons, and we both just realized that neither of us have our good side pointed towards the camera, but this is what you get. I really want to know, as president of NCDA, what does it feel like to be just hours away from the start of the conference?
It's overwhelming. It's exciting, though. I mean, it's 1,000 of our friends, 1,000 people who care about the same things that I care about, are passionate about the same things I'm passionate about. So it's exciting, but it's overwhelming too at the same time.
Yeah. So I have to ask, so Paul and I actually both ran for president at the same time. And I think NCDA has benefited from the fact that he has led us so well. And I've gotten to be treasurer under his leadership. But so when you think about the idea of running for president of NCDA, I still remember that phase in my life.
Yeah.
How has the payoff been with sort of the idea that drove you to want to serve at this level?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's humbling to be up against someone in an election who you really respect and someone who you know would do exceptional work. Yep. And so, when your name is out there in that way, that's humbling and that's intimidating. And I think that's the way I felt coming into the presidency too, that, it's a great organization with an incredible history. And the thought of putting yourself out there in consideration for that is humbling, because you realize you're part of something that's really large. You're part of something that has a lot of very talented people all around, and that's been the case. And I think that's been what's rewarding for me too, is just the number of people who I've gotten to work with, including you, but across the membership, people who are on the board, people who are on committees, members who come up to me who want to talk about what's going on with NCDA, just so many amazing people. I mean, it's an incredible community, and I think that's been what's exciting to me.
Yeah. I remember, if I can recall, like sitting in the audience while you were giving your talk at the annual member meeting, thinking I would have no problem following this guy's leadership if he were to win the presidency.
I appreciate that.
I got a piece of advice once from one of my mentors that said, if you're going to be president of something, have that one thing in mind that you want to accomplish above all else, because then you will soon be overwhelmed by everything else that you haven't thought of. Does that piece of advice ring true for you, and how has that been?
Yeah, yes. And I think for me, what I really wanted to do was find a way for NCDA to be relevant. I mean, especially to me as a practitioner and to all of our practitioners, to find ways for NCDA to be that place where we can go for a community. That's always really stuck in my head. So I think that has been sort of a little bit of an orienting factor for me. And then beyond that, what I've tried to do is just kind of advocate for or be a part of the things that, kind of, what is the NCDA that I would want to be a part of? So the theme for this conference is leading the way by integrating theory, research, and practice. And I chose that theme because that's a conference I would want to go to, that I'm excited to go to, that I see NCDA as the place where I get to come to pull all of that together, to pull the heart of what does it mean to me to be a career practitioner. And so that's the NCDA I've tried to be a part of.
So I have one more question I have to ask before we go. Don't get a smile. It's a good question.
I'm scared now.
So
just one more question.
I've had a benefit that the membership of NCDA hasn't had, which is to watch your leadership in action, particularly at board meetings and things like that. And I've just been so impressed with your, I don't even know how to say it. Like, the word diligence comes to mind. It's like you have a command of what's happening. You've thought about it. And then you've just led us through a year where we've made a lot of big decisions. What's the tagline for how you think about yourself as a leader? How would you describe that?
I feel like I want to empower the people around me to do their thing, right? I mean, on a board or in my office where I work at the University of Minnesota, I'm surrounded by a lot of really talented people. And so I guess I want to find a way to set a vision and to set some goals and to kind of lay out a bit of an agenda for our group. But then, we've got people that are really talented. And so I want to find ways to let them be themselves and take that passion and carry it forward. So I guess that's what I try to do as leader of the board, or as a leader, generally speaking.
Yep. Well, you've done it better than most that I've ever seen, and I thank you for the opportunity. We're going to sign off now. Get ready to have an amazing conference in Phoenix.
Thanks, Brian.